Hi there, I'm Elat here. I'm a writer, director, filmmaker, and it's my one of my favorite pastimes is to teach other writers and filmmakers everything that I know. So, last couple of days, I've been sending emails to my members about a tool called Special Time, and wanted to take time to explain it and also to answer some of the questions I've been receiving about it. When it comes to procrastinating and not getting around to doing the work that we want to do, I have not seen a tool that comes anywhere close to it as far as effectiveness goes. And there's a lot of great stuff out there, stuff about time management, which is useful. I've used, still use, stuff around mindset, which tries to get like a little deeper into, or a lot deeper into why we don't get around to the work we want to do. But even the mindset stuff doesn't really, it gets to the trunk rather than the leaves, but it doesn't get to the root. Because at the root of it, the reason we procrastinate is because we're scared and we're lonely. If we weren't scared and lonely, we would not procrastinate. We would really enjoy our work and hop out of bed to go do it. What we actually need is support. We need support from each other. And we can get that support. The key to it is to train people in how to support you and to offer that support in exchange. One of the things I've been writing to my members is that human attention is the most valuable resource in the world, and it's free. You just have to take turns. If we take turns offering each other attention, we would be unstoppable. Now, to clarify, we don't normally know that we're feeling scared and lonely. We don't let those feelings come up enough to even be able to tell they're there. Mostly it comes in the form of where we just quickly reach for those time sucking addictions. Like we'll just check our inbox or social media or watch TV or any other number of addictions that take up our money or take up our time, take up our main space, our mind, our brain space. But all of them are really a numbing agent because if we didn't resort to them, we would feel all that fear and loneliness that we're numbing out. But those feelings are the reason that we don't get around to doing the work that really matters to us as artists that we want to be doing. Enter Special Time. So let me explain what it is briefly, and then I'm going to answer some of the questions that I've been getting about it. So what is special time? Basically, you and another person agree to exchange an equal amount of time, and you use a timer and make sure it really is equal. So maybe 10 minutes each as you build the practice of it, maybe 20 minutes each, 30 minutes each, 50 minutes each. But definitely start with 10. I would say 10 to 30 is the sweet spot. And in your turn, you get to tackle anything that you're not getting around to doing that's hard for you, where you're getting stuck. And the other person is just with you to pay you attention while you do it, to beam at you. They're not there to fix it or solve it or give you advice or anything like that. In fact, their job is to remove their input from the situation and really just follow your mind, go at your pace, lend you their confidence in you that you got this, you just need the company. It's doing it alone that stalls us. And when that timer goes off and you've gotten to thank the person, then you switch. And you're going to pay them attention while they take on something that they've that's been challenging to them. Or you can use it to do something that's really enjoyable to you that you generally do by yourself. Now, possibilities are infinite in how you use special time. Here are some examples of how I've used it. Certainly writing blocks, no question about it. I mean, after years of a dry spell of not writing, I was finally able to write, but only during special time. So initially, and at this point, I'm a hugely prolific writer, but at the time, for 10 minutes, I would have my friend just beaming at me. Relaxed, no urgency about it, no judgment, no agenda. Just be with me, even if I don't manage to write at all, but just let me try. Let me try without having to do it in isolation. And I would use the 10 minutes to put pen on paper and just do a really bad job and whatever and struggle. But I would do it once a week for 10 minutes, and that's really the tool that got me over the hump. And got me writing again. It was not a fast process. And I should explain, special time doesn't make hard things easy, but it makes hard things possible. Those things that we just put off, and before you know it, it's been years. Those are the things you can use special time for. I've also used special time in many other ways. Like when I went through a period when I had a really hard time, sleeping, I used special time to take a nap with someone just being with me. I've used special time to tackle shyness. When I was in a group of people, I was there with a special time friend and we did an exchange. And she just watched me while I went up to someone that I didn't know and introduced myself and talked to this person. If you ever go to a networking event and you're kind of daunted by it, train a friend in using special time and do this with each other. Be like, hey, would you just like stand back? You don't have to come with me, but just watch me try to talk to somebody. I've used special time on date night. Me and my husband would exchange 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and each of us in our turn just gets to do something that's fun for us, that we want to do, maybe something that we'd love to do with our partner that our partner like never is interested in. And they get to be with us while we have our time to do what we want to do. It's a tool that will help you really get to know somebody much better. You're removing your input, however well-intended it is, and just be with someone while they try something. It's a really great way to get to know somebody better, even if you think you know them really well. I've also used special time to build deeper relationships with young people, because we live in a society where it goes unacknowledged and unchallenged that adults just know best. So you could do special time. Now, with a young person, you don't do it as an exchange. The adult just offers special time. I use a timer. My nephew knows 30 minutes special time, and he's come to know that when we call it special time and I use a timer, those are 30 minutes that he knows I'm not going to check my phone, I'm not going to get distracted, I'm not going to look to make the games more interesting. I'm just going to follow his lead. And get to know him by doing what he wants. All right, this is a really good segue to address some of the super great questions. I'm looking at them over here that I've gotten from many of you about special time. So let me address. One person is asking whether I invented special time or where did I learn it. I did not invent special time. I'd love to take credit for it because it's brilliant. But no, I didn't invent it. I picked it up in a peer counseling group that I'm a part of. But you can learn all about it in a website called Hand in Hand Parenting. It really began and is primarily used as a parenting tool or for people like myself who want to support parents and young people. So Hand in Hand Parenting, I'll add the link below this video. Yeah. What ages is special time good for? I really love this question. And so, I'm speaking here to exchanging special time between adults. And kind of what I'm bringing into the mix is the idea to use it regularly among artists, because our work is just so challenging. Most of it is unpaid, unacknowledged. We're racked with insecurities. Understandably, we get horribly criticized, especially the more we put ourselves out there. So special time is a really, really great tool for adults to exchange with each other. But as far as ages and using it with young people, I have used it with newborn infants and I've used it with older teenagers and everything in between. With teenagers, we're inclined to think that they want to be off on their own. They want to be away from adults, and this aloofness, we are vulnerable to buying it. And the reality is that no, teenagers don't want to be alone. They just don't want to be dominated by adults. But if you lend your support and offer, what I've done with teenagers is not call it special time and sometimes not let them know I'm doing it because it just feels uncool. And it's not that teenagers are all that invested in being cool, but teenagers are just kind of thoroughly humiliated. You get humiliated at school, and so that's where the coolness thing comes in. It's a protection that's understandable. So I often, with teenagers, I won't call it special time, and I won't knowingly use a timer, but I have it in mind, like for the next half hour, I'm just going to beam at this person and do whatever they want. And they love it. Teenagers love special time, love it. And I've also used it with infants, like newborn infants. And the reason we think not to is because, how should I put this? A lot of us, because it's how we were treated, think of an infant as like a cute mammal or something. Like we'll shake it and show it around like it's an object. And infants at every age, they arrive fully human. They have their own wants and needs and opinions about things and fears and hopes. They may not have a lot of information, but they are fully human, fully intelligent, fully there, fully human, and they certainly can use special time. The trick is that, we adults are like so looking to make things interesting that we immediately start, jiggling things at them and shaking things. But if we could slow down enough and just pay attention, there is so much that goes on there with a newborn infant. I mean, those first few weeks, they're just, figuring out how to close and open their hand. They're figuring out that they have a hand. They're just figuring out how to breathe. They're figuring out, what wind feels like. So if we could just slow down enough and set aside all of our wanting the infant to make us feel better by being cute or smiling at us or whatever, like they're there for us, doesn't make sense, right? Understandable because it's how we were treated as infants, but if we can put that stuff aside, all the cutesy stuff, and actually pay attention to what's going on there, an infant, how should I put it, every hour absorbs more new information and learns more than any one of us have learned in a year, if not more. So we're watching somebody working really, really hard to learn a lot, and our attention while they do that would go a very, very long way. My sister gives her son special time for a whole hour on a regular basis. I love my nephew, but I can pull off about a half hour at a time before the boredom is just, I'm racked with it. But for a half hour, I can hang in there. How often should I do special time? That's a really great question. I actually honestly haven't thought about it. If you're a parent doing special time with your young person, it is useful to have a regular time and do it regularly. Like if your child gets used to, every Tuesday afternoon, my dad for a half an hour does whatever I want, within reason. You don't, break things you can't afford to fix or cause injury, so you want to use your judgment. But anyway, the young person comes to really count on it. It makes a big difference. As far as adults exchanging special time, I don't have a regular person I do it with or a regular time. I resort to this tool when I get stuck in my work. So every time I hit a wall, I don't procrastinate for 3 months. I recruit someone to do special time with me, and it moves me over the hump. But maybe I should do it on a regular basis. I'm thinking about it, so thanks for the question. All right, next question. I love this one. Who should I do it with, and what if I can't get anybody to do it with me? So who should you do it with? Just share this video with someone and ask them to try it with you. And look for someone who's a pretty good listener, who has decent, good attention, and can relaxedly pay you attention, and you them. It's a really great thing for artists to do with each other. But if there's someone in your life who you think would be really good at this and enjoy it, who's not, organized their life around creative work or is not a filmmaker, you can still recruit them. Maybe you can help them out while, pay them attention while they, do their bookkeeping work and they pay you attention while you write your screenplay. Why not? If you can't get anybody to do it with you, it means that you're either not asking the right people or not asking enough people until you find someone who's game, or you're asking it in the wrong way. So you don't want to present it as like you're asking for a favor. You want to present it as an opportunity, something that you're going to do with each other, a way to support each other. It's a good opportunity here for you to get practiced at pitching a really good idea. It is a good idea, and I recommend pitching it. Okay, next question. Are either the watcher or the watchee commenting, asking questions, making suggestions, or are they just watching and keeping mum? Okay, good question. So, first of all, I wouldn't call them watcher and watchee because you're not just watching somebody. It's not an observation. You're not doing it from a distance. You're really supporting someone. And so one way to think about it is like you're a listener, and you're being listened to. I mean, I'm splitting hairs, but it's important to me that to understand. Let me put it this way. A lot of us think that in order to receive attention from another person, we have to earn it. We have to be interesting. We have to be entertaining. We have to engage them. Really, nobody that I know can relax and assume that somebody is just going to pay them attention because they're worth paying attention to unconditionally. They don't have to earn it. And so a big part of special time is learning to not have to earn it and just know like this person is committing to you during this period of time. As far as commenting, talking, suggestions, questions, if you're the person receiving special time, you can talk all you want. Yeah, I mean, I've used special time to like talk through story issues that I was figuring out in my script, or, talk through a problem I'm trying to figure out. So the person receiving special time can certainly talk. The person giving special time, err on the side of just listening, but if the person who's receiving special time wants to use their time to have a conversation or to solicit something from you by way of talking, basically you want to speak if spoken to. So if this person receiving special time is saying, hey, would you help me pick out an outfit for this event? And that's what they want from you in special time, then yeah, go for it. I look through their closet and help them pick out their outfit. I mean, I once was doing a special time with a teenager who had just made a short film, and they wanted my input on their film, and that's how they wanted to use their special time. So of course I offered them input on their film. Okay. I think that was my last question here. So I leave you with that. And remember, human attention is the most valuable resource in the world. And it is absolutely free. We just have to take turns. If you try special time, or even if you don't, leave a comment below. Let me know how it went. Let me know who you're thinking to ask about, in doing this, or how it went when you've tried it, anything like that. And feel free to ask me questions in the comments below about using special time. I think it's mind-bogglingly simple. I mean, you just take turns paying each other attention. It doesn't get simpler than that. And it doesn't get more profound and effective than that. I have never seen anything work as effectively as exchanging special time. Okay, enjoy it. You can subscribe to my channel, notifications, what's that stuff? How does that go? If you want more, to follow more of my videos, watch more of my videos, I think that's the stuff you do. And like the video, it does help support my work. It lets YouTube know that my videos are valuable, and so YouTube will show my videos to more artists out there who could use this. So hit that like. All right, thank you.